Good evening everyone, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft stream, where today I want to go on another nostalgia trip. Wish I should probably come over here and get my trader's tenders maybe, because I don't think I've gotten them this month. Where I got human crest or crest like 1500 tenders. So I think I had like some stuff from the last month that I did stuff. I got Night of Crest. I don't even know what any of these are. What does this do? Scourge Crest? Cool. But if I check the trading post really quickly, I guess I should. We have December stuff going on. We got a massive hammer, Reigns of the Twilight Sky Prowler, and a variety of random things. Where today I want to go on a nostalgia trip, and I want to explore Cataclysm, where this is a special stream because this is my 50th World of Warcraft live stream, which is kind of cool. But I've been playing a lot of Cataclysm on streams recently, and this is most likely my final Cataclysm stream, where I've done a lot of stuff around the world in different streams. And today I want to go through the last things that I have not yet explored, which, if I remember correctly, I want to go into like the Firelands area and then do Firelands, and then I want to come down to Odom, there we go, and I want to do the 3 dungeons and the raid. And then I think the only other thing is over in the Eastern Kingdoms we have Bastion of Twilight, which I have not done yet. If I come into the adventure guide, if I come to dungeons and Cataclysm, done all of that, and yep, it's just the 3 dungeons in Odom, and then raids. I need to do Bastion of Twilight, Firelands, and Throne of the Four Winds. So I'm doing 3 dungeons, 3 raids, and just exploring some random things. And then at the end of stream, if I'm not super tired, I might go explore some more stuff in Wrathlish King or the Burning Crusade. Which the first thing I want to take a look at is the like special area available during like the Firelands patch, and I don't remember which gate it is. It might be this one over here, or it might be the other one. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might be this one over here. Let's come into here. Wait, because I think this might be the hatchery for Lancing. But if we come into here, we are, oh, this is the Tortola area. Let's come back this way. It has been a while since I've done any of like the Cataclysm like endgame quests, other than the tiny bit I've done on stream. Where Mount Hyjal, of course, is a zone that was introduced in Cataclysm, and then it was expanded on a fair bit with the Firelands patch. There's a rare enemy right over here, a phoenix. Are you going to drop Ashes of Alar for us? How do I loot this? There was another person there. What has happened?
I need to get closer.
What does Blazoon drop?
I can't reach that.
Wow, Blazoon. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Oh, it's a hunter pet. Uh-oh. Was that a hunter trying to tame it? Am I a horrible person? I don't know. I can't even loot it. What the heck? I just saw a rare and I assume there's nobody in the world. I think they just switched phase. Okay, well, that might make me a bad person, but moving on. Let's come over here where there's a lot of flame walkers, and this might be, oh, okay, that's a Firelands hatchery. Maybe I should Google. That would be smart. Oh, is it here? Portal to the Firelands. Here's the portal. So let's come into here. And let's take a look at this place. I just want to take a sneak peek in here because this is inside the Firelands, which we visit multiple times during the Hydro Questing experience. But this is a daily quest area for the Guardians of Hydro, where there's just some daily quests you can pick up here, and then we have this big area all around here with a bunch of stuff going on. And I remember doing quite a few dailies here, like back in the day, but I don't really remember too much about it. And I remember there being a lot of quests. I think there's like a quest over here with Thrall that I remember vividly. You have to get past like those firewalls there. Let's go back to Mount Hydro. Where let's go ahead and go into the Firelands raid, which is a raid that I remember a lot from when it was current content, and I don't think I did it while it was current content, but I remember watching videos of people doing it when it was current content, and I think that's like one of the first times that I watched like in-game raiding progression was with the Firelands raid, where I watched like some raid videos during Wrath Lich King of like OGR and of Malygos. But the first time that I like really watched like top guilds clearing raids was during Firelands, where Legacy raid is 25. So I think we're in the 25 player version. And I remember a lot of people view this raid very, very fondly.
Mortal insects! You dare trespass into my domain! Your arrogance will be purged in living flame.
As being like a pretty good raid that people enjoyed when it was current content. And I do believe this is actually current content right now in World of Warcraft Cataclysm Classic, which is kind of cool. There's one more patch after Firelands for Cataclysm before they start heading to Mr. Pandaria. But I remember, generally speaking, it's like, you know, a cool raid. It's Firelands. I think some people don't like the aesthetics too much. I think everyone likes the aesthetics of like this boss, Beth Talak. I think people think she looks cool. But I know people really enjoy the bosses mechanically from like back in the day. Especially like Ragnaros. I remember a lot of people saying they like his mechanics. Where this is like a 2, 4, 6, 8 boss raid. So it's kind of short. But I guess that's how many modern raids are nowadays, is that they're 8 bosses, but the bosses are like a lot more complex. And I think Firelands and Cataclysm as a whole is when raids start becoming a tiny bit more mechanically complex. And I don't think it's until like the very end of Mr. Pandaria when they become like super complex. That's my understanding of what a lot of people view like WoW raiding's evolution as. We have this boss here, which I remember a lot from back in the day, Lord Rylith, where he has the right foot and the left foot, and you can like manipulate where he moves around by dealing damage, I think, to him. Yeah, but we can go ahead and just kill him pretty quickly, and one-shot him when he falls to the ground. Where if I come into my Dungeons and Raids, wait, I want to come down here. Firelands Raider. I have one achievement left, but it's an achievement that requires you to have 2 people or to be like a demon hunter, I think, which is very interesting. But I have not done that. You can also get Ragnaros, which I think they actually introduced like a Ragnaros, like Cheerios crossover that you could buy, which is interesting. Here's Majordomo Stag Helm. Of course, the traitor. Druids of the Talon here.
What have we here? Visitors to our kingdom, the Firelands? You mortals may remember Alisra, who spirited me to freedom in Mount Hyjal. She too has been reborn. Born of flame! I wish I could watch her reduce your pitiful band to cinders, but I am needed elsewhere. Farewell!
I serve a new master now, mortals.
So we have this boss where there's a green dragon in Mount Hyjal as a part of the questing experience who betrays everyone. Oh, we got Living Ember. And we can see her here as a boss who we just kill. And she has like a flying mechanic or whatever where she like flies away and comes back. But of course, we are playing through a legacy raid. Let's get rid of this egg pile. I think that's bothering me. And then I think I can mount up now. There we go. Where one of the bosses in here is interesting because you can only kill the boss by killing a bunch of other enemies in order to spawn the boss. Where you don't have to kill every enemy around here, but you do have to kill quite a few. And we can see we had a pop-up earlier and now we have a pop-up again here. The hunting horn sounds again nearer and more urgently. Which if I take a look at my reputations, Adventures of Hyjal, I'm at 9,562 as far as honored goes. So I should definitely make sure to kill like the Molten Lords alongside other bosses just to get some reputation, if that's something I want to do, I suppose. Apparatus of Khazgroth. A purple bind on equip, which probably doesn't really sell for anything nowadays, but I'm sure was decent money back in the day.
Yes, I smelled them too, Ripley. Outsiders encroach on the Fire Lord's private grounds. Find their trail. Find them for me, that I may dispense punishment.
So here's the boss, Shannux, where a lot of the vibes here are pretty similar to the vibes of Molten Core, because the Molten Core is like the deepest, darkest area of Blackrock Depths, closest to like the core of the mountain, or it is the core of the mountain, core of the volcano. But it's not in the Firelands, but it has a lot of Firelands minions pouring out. And of course Ragnaros comes out of the Firelands, and we fight him in Azeroth, inside of Blackrock Mountain, which the Elemental Lords cannot die unless they are in their own realm. So when we kill Ragnaros there in Molten Core, he gets pushed back into the Firelands. And now we are here in the Cataclysm expansion, where we will be killing him for good. And then we have in like the Legion expansion, we see a new person become Fire Lord who we then kill in the Dragonflight expansion, and I think the seat is still vacant as of the War Within. It recently happened 2 patches ago, 2 major patches. So we can come into the spider area now, which, wow, I just do not have any inventory space ever. I should stop looting everything and just loot the bosses. Let's come this way. We have these 3 flame walkers here. I really enjoy doing legacy raids on a Death Knight because it feels easy to clear through them quickly. But here's Beth Delac, the Red Widow. Where we actually have to do some mechanics here, I think. Where I think we're about to be sent up and we have to kill some spiders. Or we just go over there. We got some more Living Ember. Some of these items are worth like 2 gold and some are worth 25 gold. I should check Adventure Guide for loot. Crystallized Firestones. Oh, so we get the Flame Talon of Alistrazor from the one boss as a small chance, a flying mount that looks like that, or a ground mount. That's cool, but I did not get that from that boss. And then we can get the Pure Blood Firehawk mount from Ragnaros. Small chance. Firehawk. Here we go. From Ragnaros. Can also get one from Glory of the Firelands Raider, which I need the person for. And Achievement Mount Tacular. You get the Fell Firehawk, which I do not have that achievement. But a lot of people really like collecting mounts, and I too like collecting mounts, but I'm only at 215. But lots of people will run Firelands and OGR and Ice Crown Citadel and everything in Shadowlands over and over and over again to try to get every mount in the game. And that's a lot of people's like primary form of content is just mount collecting. But here's Bayo Rock, who we can defeat. Got Gate Crasher. What's this look like? That's okay. Where I think we're gonna have a cutscene here in a moment.
Balrog stood guard over this keep for 1,000 mortal lifetimes, but none may enter the Fire Lord's abode.
Where I think we can interact with this and enter the Fire Lord's abode. Oh, there you go. So he's talking about.
And I may yet allow you to live. Well, heroes, what is your answer?
Let's pick this up. And now we have the Sophron Span. So we can go ahead and run along here. And I feel like this boss fight in particular feels very good because Staghelm is like not a good person, and we can kill him here where he like betrays the Night Elves and he's like really mean and vanilla. And he like hates Tyrande. So this is just a very like cathartic experience here. Where I'm not sure what the achievement is. I think maybe I got hit. And now we can fight him. I remember, I think you have to like interact with the orbs, but you have to like get across like very quickly or something. And it transforms into different druid forms, of course. Where, I guess I don't have to pick up all of this. Let's get that. Jaws of Defeat. That's 44 gold. Why not? But after killing him, the Majordomo, no longer Executus. Executus was replaced. You can go ahead and enter Sophron Keep. Where when we run around here, we can see Ragnaros in the back there. And a lava wielder in front of him. Of course we need a little bit of trash between the bosses. It's our opportunity to get another purple BOE. Two moltens, or a molten spear and a molten eruptor. But Ragnaros looks really cool. Kind of similar to how he looks in Molten Core, but just like an upgraded version. Higher definition, cooler stance. Yeah, Sophron there. I think that's Sophron at least. There's our purple BOE as promised. Hidebound chains. Let's hold on to that. But now we can fight Ragnaros himself. He's going to cast a Splitting Blow.
You will be crushed.
Here Here's our friends Cenarius, Malfurion, and Hamul.
No, fiend. Your time is now.
And then the thing that surprised a lot of people with the Cataclysm version of Ragnaros.
Heroes, he is bound. Finish him.
When I finish this, your pathetic mortal world will burn with my vengeance.
He has legs. Let's go ahead and finish him off. Just like that. And we're now revered with the Avengers of Hydra.
Hour of triumph.
It is finished, then.
And those are just trinkets.
Heroes, the world owes you a great debt.
Ragnaros has perished, but the primal powers he represents can never be vanquished. Another will rise to power someday.
Yes, Cenarius. We must maintain a constant vigil over this realm. But let us celebrate this day and the great victory we have earned here.
Indeed.
Ragnaros is just such a cool enemy. And of course, Cataclysm revolves around the Elemental Lords. So having Ragnaros in this expansion is pretty important. And I think having him as a boss is really, really cool. I think a lot of people, when Cataclysm originally released, were kind of like skeptical about like having Ragnaros as a boss, because like we had him in Classic, he was like the final boss of the first raid, and I think a lot of people found that weird and like repeating stuff. And like I think a lot of people view Cataclysm as like repeating a lot of stuff, because it's like remodeling the entire old world, and like we see Dead Mines and Shadowfang Keep again, and then we see Zuomon and Zul'Gurub like updated. So I think that was like a lot of people's opinion about Cataclysm as a whole, is that there was a lot of stuff being repeated. Reth from Palia. Time for soup. But I think as far as Ragnaros goes, I feel like it's good. And I think Firelands as a whole is really, really cool. And it's interesting to see like a lot of people's opinions about like lore like at the time, and then people's opinions about lore like after the fact. Like at the time, people really did not like the story going on in Mist of Pandaria, but now that Mist of Pandaria has been over for a while, a lot of people view Mop's story as like one of the greatest WoW stories. So it's interesting to see the difference there. Living Ember. Not really worth anything. Is this worth anything? 25 gold. Maybe I should just equip this to get the appearance. And then let's sell this. So that's the first raid complete. Now I want to go to Odom. And I want to explore some stuff up there. So we have portal to Odom, and in this zone that I haven't really done yet recently are the 3 dungeons and the raid. Which the raid is a 2-boss raid, very, very short. And the other raid I want to do later is a 4-boss raid, which is also very short. But as far as the dungeons go, I think they're all like average length. So I'll do the 3 dungeons first. I guess we can just go in a line. I might have to like run in and out a bunch. We can go to the... Is it the Battle for Azeroth version of Odom as well? By talking to Zadormi. But here we have the Halls of Origination, which is actually kind of a crazy area because hidden inside is a super weapon that can kill all life on Azeroth. Which is just like a casual thing just hanging out here. Wish the Thunder King, going back to like Mr. Pandaria, I suppose, tried to get it. But then the what are they called? I forget what the name of them are called. But they were like protecting this place, and they basically like unleashed it in like a very small location and just wiped out all life right here. But let's go ahead and come into here. Wish this area is very cool. The Tovier, that's what they're called. And of course it is a Titan facility, similar to like Odiar and the Vault of Archivon, of course. There are a ton of Titan facilities all over the world. They're one of the most frequent like dungeons and raid locations in World of Warcraft, like Odaman and Vanilla. But how many bosses are in here? There's quite a few, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bosses. So it's actually a pretty long raid, but I think 4 of the bosses are like right next to each other. Tovir Hieroglyphic. Let's come this way. Here we have the Temple Guardian on her. I hate that song.
These halls must not be disturbed.
I guess I have not been through here since I played it when it was current content, I suppose, so I might be getting some achievements that are pretty easy to get when you come through here as legacy content. Where I remember doing this a lot when it was current content during the original Cataclysm, but I think like all the Cataclysm dungeons, I don't really have like a lot of like positive nostalgia, I guess you could say, for where like I don't really care too much about any of them in particular. I think there's a boss over here. Tomb of the Earth Rager. Where when it comes to like dungeons and raids in WoW, I think the ones I care most about are Vanilla, the Burning Crusade, and Wrath of the King, as like far as nostalgia goes. And I think beyond that, it's just like whether or not it's like quality content, I suppose. Where I do want to play through Dragonflight a little bit, just to experience what modern WoW is like, which I suppose the War Within is modern WoW, but I have not done any Dragonflight stuff yet. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel about raid or like the different dungeons in Dragonflight, because I won't be coming into it with like the nostalgia aspect. I'll be coming into it as like looking for good content to play. Oh, I remember this area. Of course, there's a ton of skeletons all around here. And I think this is back outside the dungeon, or this is, where are we? I guess we're like in Oldham, but it's like different than how it looks. But here we have Earth Rager Patal. Similar vibes to the first boss of ICC, but on fire. Underworld Cord. Oh, we can mount up here. So let's come back this way. Oh, transit device. How nice. Let's come back this way. Through here, where I think we have like a Gate Guardian, and then we're going to have like the 4 bosses at the end. Which we only have to defeat Raj. Oh, hello, Bronzebeard.
Just got to know.
They're ready. Go, Bran.
Right, let's go. Just need to input the final entry.
A lot of people in the
sequence
War
into
Within
door
have a lot of
mechanism,
experience with
and
Bran because he's your ally
that
in
did
the
thing.
different
The control room should be right behind this.
doves. That's what they're called, doves. The single player instance content, which is something I really want to see in Guild Wars 2 actually, because I like how it is in ESO, and I haven't played it in a while, but I'm going to assume it's cool.
And the blasted rock trogs broke into here somehow. Trogs. Why did it have to be trogs?
I just had like, I feel like I'm a sleeper agent, and I just heard him say trogs, why did it have to be trogs, and I just woke up.
Mirrors point pointing all over the place. 4 platforms with huge elementals. I got it! I saw a tablet that mentioned this chamber. This is the Vault of Lights. Okay, simple enough. I need you adventurers to take out each of the 4 elementals to trigger the opening sequence for the far door.
So let's take out
Another
4
one down.
elementals.
Just look at those light beams.
Light
They seem
beams.
to be connecting to the far door.
Okay, 2 more elementals. But the aesthetics of this place is definitely super, super cool. I do like Titan facilities as a whole for like aesthetics, especially ODR because it's like so expansive, and I feel like that's such a cool vibe.
I need a target. I don't have a target. I need a target.
Flame.
One more elemental to go. The door is almost open.
I wish I had my Draenei Warrior's heroic leap ability. Just leap across here.
I need to get closer. I don't have a target.
Air Warden.
It's too far.
And this should be the last one. In less than 5 minutes. I've never done that before. Oh, there's a ton of trogs back here. Okay, we killed the 4. It's time for Bran to
That's it.
brand
You've
it
done
up.
it. The vault door is opening. Now we can. Oh no.
Here's a keeper. Oh, perfect.
This unit has been activated outside normal operating protocols. Downloading new operational parameters. Download complete. Full unit self-defense routines are now active. Destruction of foreign unrelated unit shut
Destruction indeed. Got alpha bracers.
We've done it. The control room is breached.
So we have another transit device here. Let's go ahead and use this. The makers. Oh. Whoops. Oh wait, this is back to the center. I guess we can go up from here. This is where we're supposed to go. Oh. What's it say? Bring the
Here
elevator
we
to
go.
the second
This
floor.
should only take a moment.
So expansive. It's so cool. Okay. That's the final boss. Let's come this way. Where we have 4 different Titan Keepers around here. Construct of magic, life, destruction, and sun. Where we have like some arcane elementals in here. Spatial anomalies.
It's too far away.
I like her model. Cool looking. Very similar to like Iron Aya, of course, and the ones in
My
Uju.
luster wanes.
Back out this way. So we have this entire area here of the 4 seats. And I guess we're just going to defeat each of them. We're mostly just like diving for treasure right now. Exploring ancient ruins that aren't very ruined. Here's the construct of life. I think part of the reason we got 4 bosses here is they wanted to make a lot of references to Egyptian mythology.
I need to get closer.
This chamber will flourish with your life energy.
The cycle continues. I like the thrones. Oh. Honestly, like the background of the throne is so cool, and then this gem here with like the tree on it and like all the like feathers coming off of it. That's so cool looking. Oh, this one also has feathers. So it's like phoenix feathers. What about the other 2? This one's like blue feathers for whatever reason. A magical phoenix, and then a purple phoenix of purple destruction with the purple cosmic gem. Oh, what type of gem was over here? Oh, like space magic. This is like the twisting nether. And void creatures. It's the void again. And a void lord. Interesting. But here's a constructed magic. Or construct.
Cannot control. But can you control your fear?
This way now. One final boss. If we come over here, we have Raj, Construct of Sun. With some sun-touched servants. I think most groups just come to this boss and defeat him and don't do the others. They have a disperse ability. Oh, it became smaller. Oh, and they're gonna disperse again. Oh, these sparklings. Okay, I think I got them all. Here's the final boss. He has like a cool like beam of fire sword thing. And we just went on. We got a chaos orb. Blazing rays of light take me. But here's Cause of Origination, which I don't really have too many specific like fond memories of. Kind of just a dungeon that I did a bunch to get gear and heroics and level up when I was leveling through Cataclysm stuff. We can go to a third floor. There's a third floor? I do not remember. Oh, here we have Bran Bronzebeard.
You'll find me wherever the action is.
So he's just up here at the repository, and he's probably about to learn a bunch of stuff. But let's go back down to the first floor. I could teleport out and then just teleport back to Oldham, but I think we could just run this way. Where do I need to go? I need to go this way. Nice, I was running that way. And I think we can just run back to the entrance. It's not too far. The War Cache. I have so many random quests in my quest log from so many different areas. I never turned in that pet battle quest. I think I did that a long time ago. I think I did that on stream actually. I have this quest to go turn in the spires of Arak and Draenor. Which will be interesting to see if we get Warlords of Draenor Classic. Like, it's kind of crazy we got Cataclysm Classic, and it's kind of crazy we're getting Mr. Pandaria Classic up next. It'll be very interesting if we get Warlords of Draenor. I could see a world where they release through the Legion expansion, and then they leave classic progression at Legion, where it's like the most powerful players have ever been in World of Warcraft as far as like story power level goes. And a lot of people kind of consider Legion like the end of a lot of World of Warcraft stories with the death of Sargeras. But of course the death of Sargeras opened up a lot of other storylines, especially with him stabbing the world. But if they do that, Legion's like a very popular expansion, so then people have that as like current content, I suppose. I'm not sure if people would want to do Legion raids week after week for the rest of life. I'm sure there's at least one group of people that could form a raid group that would want to do that. But then, if they do an overhaul of the Eastern Kingdoms, there we go, and Kalimdor again in like a future expansion, having like a version of World of Warcraft that is stuck in some expansion between Cataclysm and whenever that new expansion comes out, it would be good to keep like old Eastern Kingdoms and old Kalimdor intact. But they could also just do like the Bronze Dragonfly and Zadormi magic in every single zone now. Or with Chromie Time Walking, they could do that. So it would just be interesting to see if they do anything like that. And it'll be interesting to see where Classic ends. Of course, Vanilla will be around forever. I'm sure they'll do the Burning Crusade and Wrath of Lich King over and over and over. Here we have the Lost City of the Tovir, where I think this is a much faster dungeon. And this is where we start our adventures in Odom, where we have some quests in this area. Here's this journal. He's just screaming. I remember this Crocodile boss vividly, and having like a croc boss I feel like is just kind of cool in general. But like, I don't know, I just really remember this boss, like out of like all the dungeon bosses in Cataclysm, I feel like this boss is the one that I remember like up there the most. We have Lockmaw. Must have done something like insane during Cataclysm or something. Or maybe it's just like an iconic boss that's really cool. Do we have to kill this pygmy? And we can take his treasure. Ring of the Darkest Day. I guess it's kind of like a mini boss right there. But this is kind of just like a city environment, I suppose, but like Tovir City. Kind of similar to how you pronounce it, Ramkahin, the main city in Odom. Terrace of the Augurs. This area right here is where we did all the quests in order to free ourselves, I think. Where we had the boss in this room here. And then the cages were right here where this boss is. So this is kind of like a full circle moment as far as Odom as a zone goes.
Be gone, infidel. You are not welcome here.
And now this entire area is destroyed. And we can enter the top part by going somewhere. Or were we supposed to do the croc last? I always remember going to the right first, but I think if we come this way, we can get up here. Or is this not? How do we get up there? So back to the front? Or do we jump into one of the vortexes? I do not remember at all. We have this thing right here. Oh, wind tunnel. Does this launch us up? It launches up there. Okay. And we have the Lord of the South Wind.
The sky beckon.
Who is no more. Tia's Grace. I got a ring of 3 lights. And now I can just run out the front entrance. We're very close to the front entrance, so that's nice. But that is this dungeon, which very similar to like all the other Cataclysm dungeons I've said. I don't really have too many nostalgic memories beyond just running this a bunch. And I really vividly remember the Crocodile, but I don't remember too much else about this dungeon. Captain Hadan. Let's run back out into Odom, where we have one more dungeon left to explore. The Vortex Pinnacle. And I went on my ground round. Oh, I just hit my desk. I'm thriving right now. But up here into the skies, where we are now transitioning back to dealing with the Elemental Lords, which I guess we kind of just dealt with an Elemental there. Siamet, but Now we can go ahead and enter Skywall, which is the elemental realm of air, which is a very, very cool area. And of course, we enter each of the 4 different elemental realms in Cataclysm. We have 1 dungeon in the realm of water, and we have 1 dungeon in the realm of earth, alongside an entire open world zone. And then we have 1 dungeon and 1 raid for air and Skywall, which this is the dungeon, and we're about to do the raid next. And the Firelands has a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different areas you go to, and a raid. But we have 3 bosses in here, and I remember this place decently well. Or like, I just remember being in here a bunch, I suppose. Where it's kind of the same as every other Cataclysm dungeon. I remember leveling up a lot in here, and then I remember gearing up a lot. There's a magical brazier here.
I don't have a target. I need a target.
What does this do? Oh, we have to go around this way. But I feel like this is just like a cool environment, like a floating fortress in the sky. But of course it's like in its own realm. We're not currently in like Azeroth or whatever. But it was like breaking into Azeroth a little bit. But just very cool. It's very similar to, is it Valheim in the Legion expansion? Oh, we need a hieroglyphic. That's like archaeology stuff, I think.
It's too far away. I need a target.
We have Grand Vizier Artan, who we can defeat. Kind of just a basic looking air elemental.
Filthy beasts! Your presence in Skywall will not be tolerated.
I haven't collected this appearance. Classic boots. But we can take this slipstream. It's going to send us from one to the next. Now we have these turbulent squalls, which are really cool looking. Their hands are kind of just like floating, and then they have like a body with like the head. A young storm drake. I think if we come into our adventure guide, we do have a chance to get the reins of the Drake of the North Wind from this next, or from each of the, oh no, just the next boss. We have a chance to get it. Oh, should I be killing these Holland guys? I feel like it would be very hype if we got this mount drop. I've gotten 1 mount drop in all my nostalgia trip streams, and it's one that I already have, and that's the one from Obsidian Sanctum in Northrend.
It's too far away.
Wish I did end up deleting it. But if I got like Invincible when we kill Arthas, or the Ashes of Alar, which is the mount that I want the most, when we kill Kael'thas and Tempest Keep, that will be super hype. Let's come up here. And we did not get it. That's okay. Let's take the slipstream, where we have 1 more boss. Another air elemental. I think they're calling these ones Jin, which is cool. Let's come up here. Oh, we got a nice speed boost there. I really like the skybox here in Skywall. Oh. This is nice. What does this do? Is it just decor? Oh. The grounding field. Suppose targeting this unit will be redirected. this way. Or I think this is just a long walk, right? Skyfall stars. Mortovir, servants of Assad. Now we can come down this way. If I activate this, you want to run with me? Nope. Can I drop down this way? Is this gonna kill me? Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Nice. Though I think I would want to die in just a moment to get back to the start, but let's kill the final boss first. Where we have Assad, Caliph of Zephyrs, who is the final boss of this dungeon. Got no static at all. Some of these achievements I got in 2011. Heroic Throne of the Tides. Did some Dead Mines back then. Black Rock Caverns. I did Heroic Throne of the Tides before I did normal Throne of the Tides. That's kind of crazy. Okay, I would like to go back to the start. Wait, send me to the start. It's like, oh, that's so nice. It didn't even kill me. It just sent me straight here. Fancy. But back out here. Where those are the 3 dungeons in Odom, and I believe I have now done every dungeon in Cataclysm. Wish I went into the wrong thing. If you come out here, I've done this one, I've done this one, 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 and these 2. Nice. I have successfully completed all of them. Across different streams and videos, of course. But I have 2 more raids left to go. I have Throne of the Four Winds and the Bastion of Twilight. Both of these dungeons are pretty short, and when we come into the raid tab here, with the original release of Cataclysm, I think we had Argalath and Baradin Hold, and then we had 3 raids, which seems like a lot, but we have Blackwing Descent, which was like the big raid, and this had 6 bosses, and then we have Bastion Twilight, which had 4, and then we had Throne of the Four Winds, which has 2. So ultimately we had like 13 bosses, which is quite a bit, but spread out amongst 4 raids, so each raid individually is like pretty small. So I feel like the first tier of Cataclysm is like very, very, very interesting, and how it was like designed. And then from there we have a patch where they just add 2 new heroics, and then we have a patch where they add Firelands, and then a patch where they add 3 new heroics and normals, and then a raid to go with it. I think we have to kill these 3 before they gather strength. And these are the lords of the other winds, but not the south one. Right here we have the north, over there is west, and over here is east, which we killed the lord of the south wind already. I think it was like cast out or something, not entirely sure. But we have this area over there in the south that is where we came in, and there wasn't one of them here. And there we go. And I think we come this way to loot. And then we have Alakir, the Wind Lord, who is a really, really cool lore character. And I like him a lot just because of the fan film Tales of the Past 3 specifically, where like Thrall channels the powers of Alakir. And I think we come over here by running this way. Or Fall Catcher. But I know this raid is really cool. It has like a lot of movement mechanics, which like some people hate, and then some people like. But like Hunter Disengage is like really fun here because you can like jump off the platform to avoid like this wind wall that rotates around the platform, and then you can use Disengage when you're off the platform in order to get back in. Except, how do you get over there? I do not recall at all. Is it this slipstream here? Is there one on... Oh, there's one on every single one. Am I just kind of stupid right now? And this launches us to Alakir. Such a cool looking boss. And we just one shot. After every storm comes the calm. Did we defeat him? I think he did. We come up here. Heart of the Wind. And we just got knocked back. Hello? Oh, now we can come this way. This kind of reminds me of Malygos. Let's open this. Stormwake the Tempest's Reach. I had the perfect amount of inventory space. Cloudburst Cloak. Windstalker leggings. But I think as far as Cataclysm itself goes, I think there's one more raid. Which I've spent a lot of time doing a lot of quests, a lot of dungeons, a lot of raids in Cataclysm, just nostalgia tripping. So it's kind of cool to be down to like one more thing. Let's mount up and get over there. I wanted to check something, but I forgot what I wanted to check. Oh, oops. I do not remember what I wanted to check at all. But to Twilight Highlands. Oh, I remember now. I wanted to see like PvP queue times. How they are in retail. I mean, you're like level 62. Which I'm assuming PvP queue times at like level 80 is like pretty good. But I'm assuming below that, it's kind of bad. Here we are in Twilight Highlands once again. I'm gonna group finder. Random battlegrounds have a 23-minute queue time. Epic battlegrounds have an infinite queue time. Okay. Arena skirmish has a less infinite queue time. Korok's Revenge for Outtrack Valley has an 8-minute queue time, so that's the fastest. But let's come over here to the Bastion of Twilight, which I don't think I actually ever even touched this back in the day. And I think I did it for the first time when I returned to WoW for vanilla. Come down here. I don't think I've even done it on heroic mode. So we're about to get a bunch of achievements, which is actually cool. I think I did it once on normal in like 2019. And I remember kind of seeing it a little bit, like back in the day. But I really do not remember much about this raid. But it's the last raid I've not done in Cataclysm recently. So let's go ahead and explore through it. Or this is actually kind of a cool raid for a reason we'll see in a moment. But the main final boss of this raid is Cho'Gall. Which Cho'Gall is a very important lore character throughout all of World of Warcraft's lore. We have Halfus, a Wormbreaker, who I think we saw in Twilight Highlands. We just got Soul Blade. Interesting. Purple BOE. Should we deal with all of the Twilight Hammer? Oh, I'm taking actual damage. It's like percentage-based damage from those orbs. That's cool. I'm almost dead though, but I'll regenerate. I could use a couple of death strikes, I suppose. Or a Storm Drake. Orphaned Emerald Whelp. Here's Halphus Wormbreaker. A Proto Behemoth. A Slate Dragon from Deepholm. Another Scion. A Time Warden. What are they doing? We have this Nether Scion here. If one such as I can be captured by that lumbering oaf, then you must be brave indeed to venture here. This is from like Outland. If you can distract Halphus and break the chains binding me, then I will fight alongside you. My ability to blind the eyes of an enemy will help you withstand Halphus's frenzied assault. So I suppose you can just do like deal with different mechanics by interacting with these different drakes. Let's go ahead and kill him. Got stunned there right at the end. But lots of loot. Kind of a cool male head item. Is this for shamans or hunters? Everything's a hunter item. Cool plate shoulders. I like those. But down here, the burning corridor.
The twilight has come.
Shadows lengthen, endless night.
Deathwing has sundered this world,
Doors once opened never close.
so that its true lords may return.
Master,
Mortals, do really separate the wheat from the chaff.
unworthy, unworthy.
I feel like Cho'Gath's been around for such a long time. Ever since Warcraft 2. And then we fight him here. This is the end of him. He plays kind of a big part behind the scenes in like all World of Warcraft.
Feralion, put them in their...
Do as the master commands.
He plays a big part in
Kill them.
one of the comics.
Master was clearly speaking to you, Valiona. You're far too busy to attack anyone.
Oh, they share health.
At least, Feralion dies.
We got an odd Twilight
Come
egg.
closer, closer. Let us see your faces. All will be humbled before his power.
We got a Twilight Clutch Sister. That's what that looks like. That's cool. Into the next part. Yeah, I really don't remember too much about this area because I think I've only done it once and I didn't do it when it was current content. Guess I'll kill this guy over here real quick.
Welcome, mortals.
Frail little children.
Few have laid eyes on this inner sanctum.
They reach out to touch the fire.
The Sanctum of the Ascended, where we have some Ascendant
The
Lords.
chosen realize their destiny,
One eternity.
and it is you, brothers of twilight. The hammer calls to you.
Fire, water, earth, air.
Leave your mortal.
My fiance is watching, bless you.
Fire, water, earth, air.
Embrace your new forms, for here and ever after.
Enough of this foolishness. We will handle them. An impressive display.
We got stunned.
To have made it this far.
But now, witness true power!
The fury of the elements.
Behold your
Elementium Monstrosity.
possible.
And defeated. Here's the helm that goes with our shoulder pads right there, kind of. Like different tints. Oh, wait. Where is it? Here. It seems like the same set. Guess they're slightly different sets. But same, like, main vibe. But, oh, there's Cho'Gall. Oh, that's so cool. His throne is very cool. And we have these faceless guardians here.
Foolish mortals.
Usurpers' children!
Nothing you have done has...
Born of a lesser god!
I am trying to speak here.
Words, words, words! The master wants murder!
All falls to chaos. All will be destroyed.
Chaos!
Your work here today changes nothing.
Chaos, chaos! All things end!
No mortal may see what you have. Your end has come.
So from Black Fathom depths to here, we've been dealing a lot with the Twilight Hammer, but we can defeat their main leader, Cho'Gall. The Abyss will gaze back into you.
We are shattered.
But the master, I still hear so angry, master.
Oh, this is normal difficult. Wait, what? Why is it normal? But there's Cho'Gall, which I think we're supposed to be like heroic. But there's one additional boss in heroic, Sinestra. Originally Deathwing's prime consort, Sinestra created the first Twilight Dragons, but was later obliterated by one of her terrifying creations. Now a ravaged husk, reanimated by insidious magic, Sinestra oversees the creation of new Twilight clutches. Which you can see right here. Very cool looking. Let's come back out this way. I got Twilight Summoning Portal, so we can see a faceless minion. It's very cool. We got Shalagadoom, the Axe of Unmaking. Not my favorite. We have the Helm of Maddening Whispers, which is very cool looking. This looks like a... what is this? A Death Knight? Oh no, a Paladin set maybe? I don't entirely remember, but like the crown with the horns and like the skull. That's very cool looking. But this is the final piece of content from Cataclysm that I haven't done yet. Where, you know, there's like random quests and whatnot here and there that I haven't done. But throughout all my streams, this is the last big thing that I wanted to do. Where I did get through this a little bit faster than I wanted, but there is still more stuff from Wrath Lich King and the Burning Crusade that I want to explore, so we can go ahead and take a look at some of that stuff. But I want to run out really quickly and see if we can come back in here, because I've been having this issue with like all the raids where it's been putting me in the normal version even though I have heroic selected. So I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. But this area is very cool, and I'm not entirely sure where it's located, because we have the portal here. It might be like underneath Grim Bateau, and it's just like a portal to there, but then we have the Grim Bateau dungeon, so I'm not entirely sure. I feel like they could have made this dungeon, or like this area, like Grim Bateau, and then they could have had like another place that they added that's like the continent of Grim Bateau. But I feel like Grim Bateau is worthy of being a raid. But it ended up being a dungeon, which I guess is fine. What is it? Twilight Portal? I think that's to get to the bosses further into the raid. Let's come out here really quickly. Let's mess with this. Okay, so if I have it set to 25, wait, what? I guess we can come in now. Hi, Jordan. 10 player? This is so weird. Can I come in now? This is not Winter's Day. This might be the opposite of Winter's Day. The opposite of cozy vibes. So I guess I can't come in here. Guess I'm locked out. But that is basically the last piece of content. I do want to do some Winter's Day streams in the future though. Or at least one. Maybe closer to Christmas. But I've been doing a lot of Cataclysm streams recently. And I think as of now, I'm officially 100% complete with everything that I wanted to do in Cataclysm. And I'm officially 100% complete with everything I wanted to do in Mr. Pandaria. So I guess I'll spend some time doing some Wrathless King and Burning Crusade stuff that I wanted to finish up. I should check the Soul Blade weapon. I guess my Hearthstone is off cooldown now. Let's go back to Orgrimmar. I'll clean up my inventory, much like what you have to do a lot of during Winter's Day, so I guess this is sort of similar. But then, what do I want to do? Maybe I'll do a couple Wrathless King dungeons, and then maybe I could go do some Burning Crusade, because I haven't done a lot of Burning Crusade stuff. Alright, I want to come over here.
What can I help you with?
Or, when I say I haven't done a lot of Burning Crusade stuff, I haven't done a lot of the dungeons and raids yet on stream.
Go with honor.
You break it, you buy it. Pleasure doing business with you. If you ever need anything.
What are you looking for? Go forth to victory.
So let's use my wormhole generator, Northrend. This rotten fruit is kind of funny. The bugs eating it appear unusually intelligent. Oh, wait. Oh. Wait, I've never had this happen to me before. Underground? Wait, this is crazy. Wait, this is so hype. I think I know what this is. This is like a very rare chance for this to pop up on your wormhole generator, and I think we go to a very special area that can only be unlocked via the wormhole generator, and there's like a merchant we can buy things from. But I don't entirely remember everything. Wait, this is so hype. So we're in Delaran. We have K2G right here. Schematic Mechanical Dragonline, Mithril Mechanical Dragonline, and Arknight Dragonline. Which I already know all three of these, so I guess I've been here before. But I do not remember at all. I guess I have been here. This is very cool looking. We're somewhere in Delaran. We're like like near the center of the city, I think. Like Tugi, just hanging out here. This is definitely a really cool area. Just like a random room that you come to, and it's only accessible via the wormhole generator. And I guess she has like a limited stock, so not everybody can get the items, so you kind of just have to camp out here, I suppose, if you get here and the items aren't here. But I guess that does kind of inconvenience me, because now I can hearth back to Legion Delirium, I suppose, and go to Orgrimmar, and then I can take the portal to Wrath Delirium. But I should maybe check the auction house really quickly for the items I just bought. So I guess I have been there once before, but I don't remember it at all. But that's very cool. That's so exciting. I was like kind of wanting to get it on stream sometime, just so I could like experience that tiny piece of Wrath King content. But that's super hype. I wonder if the recipes will sell for anything. Maybe a tiny bit of gold. Here is Legion Delirium on the Broken Shore, not Northrend. I hope that's not all my luck for the day, because that's like very lucky. But I would love to get, if I happen to do a dungeon or raid that has a mount drop, I would love to get one of those. Bless you, Jordan. I don't know why World of Warcraft loading screens are just so slow. I don't know what it is with my computer and WoW. It's also my computer and Valorant. Like those two games are like really slow on my computer, like loading wise. But other than that, every game is like very, very fast.
Got the best deals anywheres.
Let's see how much that sells for. 5,000 gold. Okay. 500 gold. How about this? 91 silver. Okay. Well, those are a range of prices. One of them is worth 5,000 gold, which is like really not worth a lot. Because apparently, during the Warlords of Draenor expansion, which is the first expansion I released after I quit WoW, there's like a ton of gold that entered the economy because of like garrisons. So like people became like reached gold cap just from like doing like daily and weekly garrison stuff, and it just obliterated World of Warcraft's economy. And like they rebalanced the economy to be like less than the amount of gold you got during Warlords of Draenor, if that makes any sense. So like the amount of gold that you get now is like significantly less than what you needed during Warlords of Draenor, but like the amount of gold that you need for stuff is less than like the total amount you got during Warlords of Draenor. So players who like played a lot of Warlords of Draenor and like made a lot of money during that expansion, ever since then have just had like a ton of money and have like not run out of it unless they do a lot of like black market auction house stuff to get like very rare mounts like the Swift Zulian Tiger. But back to Northrend. I've done everything in Boring Tundra. I've done everything in Sholazar. I've done everything in Wintergrasp. I have done everything in Dragonblight. Yes, I've done everything. I've done everything in Howling Fjord. I've done everything in Grizzly Hills. Zodrak, I've not done these two dungeons yet. I heard a loud noise. And then Storm Peaks, I've done these 2 dungeons, but I haven't done the raid, and then I haven't done ICC or the raid or the dungeon up here. So I guess maybe I'll do the 2 Zuldrak dungeons, so then all I have left is Storm Peaks and Ice Crown, and I'll do a dedicated stream for those 2 sometime in the future. And then I want to go to Outland, where I have not done a lot of stuff here, so it might be good to get started. I've done a few dungeons and different streams when I was just doing LFG. But here we have 2 dungeons, Drakthron Keep. Which I do have a lot of nostalgia for the different Wrath Lich King dungeons. Much more so than Cataclysm. It's kind of interesting, like the split in my nostalgia for like pieces of content. There's like 3 groups. Group 1 is Vanilla, The Burning Crusade, and Wrath Lich King, which I played like a lot of that, and I continue to play a lot of that. And like I love it so much. And it's like some of my favorite like pieces of content in the game. And then the second group is Cataclysm and Mist of Pandaria, which I played a lot of those back in the day, but I don't have a lot of nostalgia for like Cataclysm and Mist of Pandaria, even though I did like a bunch of them, a bunch of the dungeons and raids and questing and whatnot. I just didn't really like those 2 expansions like too much back in the day. I'm playing them again recently with like Mob Remix and Cataclassic and running through things on this character in retail WoW. I still don't enjoy them too much, so I kind of like reaffirmed my opinions about those expansions. And then the third group is everything after Mist of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor through the War Within, which I haven't really done too much of that as current content, and I've done some of it as like legacy content, like I ran through like Blackrock Foundry recently. Here's Novos the Summoner. Defeated Trogor. Oh, this is just like a timer mechanic, right? So we have this staircase here, and typically you want like 1 player up here on the staircase defending it, and then like the group down there defending something. And I think we just have to wait out the timer. So it's probably best if we stick in the middle since we're by ourselves. Sometimes you'll need allies to like help defend. I guess we're not really defending anything, we just have waves of enemies coming for us, so we just have to deal with them. But I think a lot of players in the Wrath of Lich King skip this fight because they find it boring. And like, always kind of makes me sad when like groups skip bosses, because like my approach to like dungeons is kind of like just sitting back and clearing everything when it comes to like WoW dungeons. At least I'm like a little different in like Guild Wars 2, but like ultimately I don't care too much about going like too fast in Guild Wars 2, and it's like much more so in like World of Warcraft, where I'm just kind of here to like hang out. And I like doing dungeons like once, kind of, or like maybe like when you get to like in-game content you like start grinding dungeons. But like I did Dead Mines on Anniversary Edition recently, and like my approach to Dead Mines is I did like pretty much everything in Westfall, and then I picked up like all the quests from like Stormwind and from Westfall. So I went in there with like 5 quests, and I did Dead Mines once, and I happened to get like the Emberstone staff, but there's also like the stuff at Westfall you could get if you didn't get that. I'm playing a mage character, so I went into like Dead Mines once, killed Van Cleef once, completed every single quest. I did go back to the entrance to do like the first quests because the group I was with did not want to do those because those quests are kind of painful. And this is Arcane Field. I just have permanent 50% reduced movement speed. But I really like that approach when it comes to World of Warcraft dungeons until you get to max level, and then want to grind through dungeons over and over and over. But as far as leveling goes, but it's annoying to skip bosses in game as well because sometimes you need to kill the boss and some people are selfish and don't want to kill the boss. So then somebody's locked out of loot and has to find a group that wants to fight that boss specifically. And I think that's very common in Classic. At least in Wrath Lich King. I don't know how many bosses you can skip in Cataclysm really. But there's quite a few bosses that you can skip in Wrath. The only bosses you have to kill in this dungeon are Trogor and the Prophet Thranja, I think. I think most groups skip Novus and Kindred. I skip bosses in Utgard Pinnacle. There's the Prophet Thranja dealt with. There's something I like about Wrath Lich King dungeon design is that there's often a very convenient way to get back to the entrance so you can leave the dungeon, which was not a thing in vanilla, because vanilla is you're going deep into the dungeon and you're approaching the end, and there's some places in Deadmine where it's convenient to leave, but most of the time you have to make your way all the way back to the entrance. But then in Burning Crusade and Wrath Lich King, they made it very convenient to leave most dungeons. And then by the end of Wrath Lich King, they added the Dungeon Finder. So then most people did dungeons via Dungeon Finder, which then just teleported you to the dungeon from wherever you were in the world. And when you were done with the dungeon, it teleported you back. So then they stopped designing dungeons with the idea of it being convenient to leave because most people just teleported out anyways. So starting in Cataclysm, we see the dungeons become inconvenient again. So I think Burning Crusade and Wrath Lich King is a very interesting era of World of Warcraft design because the dungeons are designed in a particular way where they're let's make this more convenient than how it was in vanilla. But then by the time of Wrath Lich King, they made it even more convenient. So then building in convenience geographically or whatever was no longer necessary. But it does make it annoying if you're trying to do a bunch of dungeons in the same area or whatever. But we're back at the start now. We'll just run through a hallway and we're here. The Hall of Return is what that drop was called. Alright, let's go do Gundrak, which is on the other end of Zuldrak. And people talk about this dungeon all the time because of something very specific we'll see in a moment. Where I remember doing Drakthron Keep a bunch, and I remember doing Gundrak a bunch. But I feel I've always done Drakthron more. Because Drakthron is a level, during Wrath Lich King, it's a level 72, 73 dungeon. Where Gundrak is a level 79 dungeon. So I feel there's more opportunity if you're leveling through Wrath of Lich King to do Drakthron multiple times and to not do Gundrak. Because then if you reach level 80, you reach level 80 and then you start doing heroics or you level a new character or you start raiding. Or by the time Cataclysm and Mist of Pandaria rolled around, you continue forward into Cataclysm content on level 80. So then if a dungeon is a level 79 dungeon, you don't really ever do it. Zuldrak as a zone is definitely very interesting. It's kind of cool to have like a random like big troll empire here in the middle of Northrend. Which like makes sense like with like the story that was like written with like the entirety of World of Warcraft. But like Northrend seems like such a desolate place, but there's like so many civilizations here too. Which, do I remember where the entrance is? It's over here apparently. There it is. Can we enter? Oh yeah, it's in Heroic. Which I kind of remember the layout of this dungeon. It's like a square, right? And you can kind of choose where you want to go. I think there's 2 entrances actually. I think there's, yeah, we see these portals here. There's a portal here and there's a portal on the other side. Because I remember with Wrathlish Keen, I was going to try to come in here to get like the Elder inside this dungeon. But then I gave up because I didn't really want to do it. And then I didn't want to like try to form a group to get the Elder because I was like nervous about groups. So then I never got the Elder for the Lunar Festival activity. So then I never got my Violet Proto Drake Classic. But I have it on retail. So. Here's the first boss. Lots of snakes in this room. We got a like snake prophet. There's 5 total bosses. Ek the Ferocious sealed their failed Gorlock experiments. There's a pile of bones in here. Where this dungeon features something incredibly interesting, and as you come into here, it is this. A massive snake. Just giant snake, where you can see the end of it right there, and it just goes way off in that direction. And this has sparked a lot of debate because ultimately at the end of the day nobody really knows what this is. And during Wrathlish Keen it was asked like what this is, and the developers responded saying the art team thought it would be cool to add it in. So ultimately it's really nothing, and there's no lore and no story going on with this, and it's like never been touched on again, and it's just a part of this dungeon. But like being related to like a troll dungeon, like there's like a lot of like potential stories with like it being like a Loa or a wild god or whatever, but absolutely nothing like lore or story related connected to this. The art team was like, let's throw this in, and did not tell the lore team at all. And since Wrathlish Keen, nothing has come from it, which I think is kind of wild. But just a massive snake right there. Definitely kind of scary if you don't like snakes. I forget the mechanics of this boss, because we just hit it over and over. Ultra the Drakari Colossus. But let's continue this way. Cave of Mamtoth. Which of course a lot of the Zuldrak storylines is related to the Drakari Loa. The Drakari killed most of their Loa to take their power, and it did not work out for them. I don't really remember this bonus boss. I think we can access it over here, given the whole tunnel on the map thing that's going on. But maybe we cannot. Let's come here. Yeah, Muwabi, High Prophet of Mamtoth.
We fought back the scourge. What chance you think you got?
Now we can drop down here maybe. And do we swim down here? Does not look like it, but there are some Drakari Frenzy here. But this is how we get back to over here to the final boss. If I can land there. There we go. So this bridge is here now. And the Jakari have some Jakari rhinos that we can go ahead and defeat. And then we see very cool statues back there. And then we have the final boss, Galdara, High Prophet of Akali. Or I think this is mostly just like a random boss. That's just a Gorlock. Ek the Ferocious. Here. Got the Arcane Flame Otter Guard. And the Shroud of Akali. But that is Gundrak. Which those are the 2 dungeons in Zuldrak. Which are cool. I'm gonna hearth back to Orgrimmar. And let's do some Burning Crusade stuff. Because I haven't done too much Burning Crusade. Finish Cataclysm stuff very quickly. I think I have a list of dungeons in the Burning Crusade that I have done. So I'll just keep this in mind for what dungeons to do. Where? Let's come over here. And let's go ahead and sell all of this stuff. There we go.
May your blades never dull.
And now, I guess we'll take the portal to Shadrath, and we'll go from there. Where I'll probably just do some Burning Crusade dungeon runs and raids until I'm tired. Alright, we do have the portal to Silvermoon. That's on the top layer, for whatever reason. But to get to Shadrath, I think we have to come to the bottom layer, or level rather. Alright, we have the Caverns of Time portal here, and here's the Shadrath portal. And the Ashran portal. And then we have this portal here. I'm not sure where this takes you. The War Within? Looks like it. Maybe. I have no idea. Outland Adventure. Through the portal. Into the Burning Crusade. Back to Shadrath. Which of course today I released my final episode for my Draenei Warrior Let's Play series. That's a Pandaren. Where I explored some of Outland. So we can go ahead and explore a little bit more of Outland. Where there are no dungeons and raids in the Grand, but there are in Terakar Forest. And looking at my list of dungeons I've done, I have done Auchenai Crypts. So I've done this dungeon on the western side. So I guess I can do the northeast and south dungeon. Maybe the east one last. Let's come do Mana Tombs. But if you come into our adventure guide to Burning Crusade, Auchenai Crypts is the one with the Watcher and the Exarch here. Let's go ahead and come into Mana Tombs, or Tombs. I feel like I need to learn how to pronounce that properly. Let's come through this portal. Where this is a 3 boss dungeon, or I guess 4 bosses. We have a boss called Yor here, where we have a Void Lord, which is kind of crazy. And then we have Tavrock under the command of Kael'thas Sunstrider, and then Yor, a gift from Eladin, and then a Nexus Prince. Which of course, there's probably a lot of story coming up with the Consortium soon, because their homeworld is destroyed by a Void Lord, and then like their bodies were ripped apart and they look like this now. And they came to Outland to like survive. But there's a lot of connections between the Consortium, however you pronounce it, and what happened to their planet of Kresh, I think is the name, and what is currently happening in World of Warcraft story. And then one of the more prominent characters right now is the Lotus Walker, who is one of these creatures here. I think his name is the Lotus Walker at least. But here is Tavrock. if you hear the whisper, you're dying. Which is kind of similar to the story going on right now. It's kind of interesting, like this entire dungeon complex of the Auchindoun, where it's like 4 different dungeons, and they're all like the same aesthetics and vibes of like the ancient like Draenei civilization here on Draenor. I guess not so ancient, but they have this massive like entire like crypt complex here. And then, of course, the Draenei got wiped out by the orcs before the orcs came to Azeroth.
What is this? You must forgive me.
And now there's like 4 different groups of people occupying 4 different parts of Auchindoun.
But no matter, as I am a gracious host, I will tame you.
Here's Nexus Prince Shafar.
An epic battle. How exciting.
God, Grand Scepter of the Nexus Keens. Kind of cool looking. Not sure about this Your boss. Might be quest related. I don't really remember too much. But let's come back out this way, where, like I was just talking about when we were in Drakthron Keep, we have a convenient exit here. So I can drop down here, and then we're back at the start. So let's run through this way. And don't forget to drink water, because it's been almost 2 hours, and I don't think I've drunk water in 2 hours. So that is one of the dungeons, and then 2 of the dungeons. So let's do Shadow Labyrinth next, which I have done this one recently, Set the Cause, but I don't think I've done Shadow Labyrinth in a while. And I think it's technically the final of the 4 dungeons here, and you, like back in the day, needed to get a key to get in here, but now we can enter it as Soul. And where this is like Dead Draenei, where this is Consortium, and over here we'll see it. This is the Arakoa, and here we have the Twilight Council. So kind of a similar storyline to what we see in Cataclysm, where the Twilight Council would play a part in Cataclysm with like the remnants of the Twilight Council from the Twilight Hammer after the events of Warcraft 3 or whatever. And then they see the Twilight Council and Outland become more powerful as well. When the Orcish Horde first invaded Azeroth through the Dark Portal, 2 Shadow Council members instead turned their attentions to the ancient Draenei burial grounds of Auchindoun. The unquiet spirits of the area proved to be excellent subjects for the Warlock Blackheart to perfect his mind control abilities. Quite a few just orcs in here. I don't think they're fell orcs, which is kind of interesting. I guess we have to kill all of them in order to fight this boss. So I missed a group back there. And I just got a 5-second stun on me. That's inconvenient. Let's come over here. Let's deal with this pesky group. And now we have Ambassador Helmaw. Soul Wand of the Aldor. And we got Leggings of Assassination, which is a rogue tier set. Very cool. The bonus is inactive. You have Spy Tool Gun down here, which is for a quest. But we can come this way, where we can go ahead and find that Shadow Council member. In the early days of the Horde, Grandmaster Vorpil convinced the Orc Warlock Gul'dan to allow him to investigate the mysteries of Auchindoun, secretly desiring to harness the energy of the frighteningly powerful cosmic essences that permeated the area. Blackheart the Inciter. Big Warlock. I got Book of Fell names. Do we want to return this to Atris and Nagrand? I didn't realize I had this quest on me. So I guess we completed this quest. If I come into my quest achievements to Outland to Nagrand, we have Birth of the War Chief, which I apparently have not done yet. So if I come to Nagrand proper, oh, I guess we have to do this quest and then we can do that. So maybe I'll run over to Nagrand and turn that in. Bless you to Jordan if you're still watching. Let's come this way. Grandmaster Vorpil. Legion rings. Let's go ahead and loot him. Blackout Truncheon. We get spirit shards, which is nice. And now this way, where we have this boss, Murmur. In the beginning, so far away, such phrases cannot begin to describe this elemental's origin. Its existence heralds pure destruction. A world shatter and the pieces scatter at its whim. Only the truly mad would think to summon it. Perhaps there's yet time to banish Murmur before it fully enters Outland. Which, this is a very interesting creature and an elemental. Because lore-wise, this might be one of the most powerful entities in the entire Warcraft universe. Because he can single-handedly destroy planets with no effort at all. It's the lore behind him, and the Shadow Council are trying to summon him into Outland for whatever reason, where we fight just a fraction of his power here. So let's go ahead and deal with him. And it's very interesting, we banish him back to where he came from, and we never hear anything about him again since the Burning Crusade, that's my understanding. But here's the final boss, where this dungeon does not have a convenient exit. But he's already low on health, and we can go ahead and kill him. Very cool death animation, very cool sounds. Similar to Ragnaros, I think it shares a Rigi, but different model. We got a bunch of items here. And I don't think there's any special mount drops from this dungeon, but there is from the next dungeon, but I have to run all the way back out. I think the first 3 dungeons have convenient exits. Maybe not in this one. Oh yeah, Auchindoun Crypts does not have a convenient exit, but I'm pretty sure the next one does, so that's going to be nice for us. skeletons all around this area, of course, since that is what Auchindoun as a whole is a crypt for Draenei. It's a very like sad story of how like Auchindoun's kind of just destroyed and all of these corpses just despawned. Those ones might be next. I think Shadow Labyrinth as a whole is kind of interesting because if we go back to Warcraft 2, there's a lot of story with the expansion for Warcraft 2 with Auchindoun, I think, where the Shadow Council are in Auchindoun doing crazy things for Ner'zhul, who becomes the Lich King, but he's like commanding them, and then like forces come into here, at least in like the book. I'm not sure about the game because I think there are some differences between the book and the game. Oh yeah, there's a mission called the Fall of Auchindoun. So that's kind of interesting.
It's too far away.
An area that played a big part in the Warcraft 2 story that we're now exploring here in World of Warcraft, where there is one more dungeon. We have Sethikaz, where this is a very special dungeon, because there is a special boss in here that only spawns in Heroic, and I think nowadays he just spawns in every version, but I think back in the day you had to have a druid who had like fight form unlocked, I think, and only a druid with like the flight form unlocked, or like swift flight form, could like summon this boss, which is kind of interesting. But it's even more interesting when this boss has a very special rare mount drop that only drops from like this boss. So if my understanding memory is correct, back in the day, in order to get this mount, you had to be in a group with a druid who had something unlocked, and then they summoned this boss in the heroic version of this dungeon. But nowadays, every time you come through here, the boss should just be here. So we should be able to have a small chance, I think like a 1% chance to get this mount drop. So let's go ahead and continue up this way and see what happens. We can hope for the best. I think if we're kind of banking on me getting one mount, if I'm going to be lucky, from all my Nostalgia Trip streams, I would want it to be Ashes of Alar from Tempest Keep. That would be super hype. But if we don't get that, I'll take Invincible. If you don't get that, I'll take Mimron's Head. If I don't get that, I'll take literally anything I don't have unlocked.
It's too far away.
I guess getting the one mount that I did already have unlocked was kind of hype, but not the coolest thing in the world. Just a bunch of Arcola in this entire dungeon. But here we have Anzu, which the mount looks exactly like him. We have a Falcon Spirit, an Eagle Spirit, and a Hawk Spirit. And let's kill him, and let's hope for the best. I did not get it. I got this Talon of Anzu though, which is a dagger. And now we have Talon Keen Ikis, who is the final boss here. In the halls of morning.
Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets. Power. Great power. Power in trinkets.
Cool voice acting. Icus. Got Tyrox Night Mace. Where? That is all 4 dungeons in Auchindoun complete. So now I guess I'm done everything in Nagrand that I wanted to do. Or Nagrand, Terracore Forest. Speaking of Nagrand, let's come over here and turn this quest in. Because apparently I had this from when I played like way back in the day, and I never completed this quest. And I think it might be approaching the end of the Nagrand quest chain, so I might as well go turn it in. Then I could head up this way, I suppose. Up into the skies. And we have to go to the western edge, so it's decently far away, but we can get some nice views of Outland as we go this way. Which I remember, for whatever reason, I really wanted to get the Explorer achievement in Outland where you kill all these creatures. I got it May 5th. I have to do the finger thing. May 5th, 2023. I killed all these rare creatures found throughout the world, which I remember there's like a crocolisk here in this lake that sometimes spawn, but also spawns in like 2 other areas in the ground. But it was kind of cool getting all those. I have 3 achievements here. Perform a ritual with Eva's journal. Empower your Argent Dawn commission. Interesting. But I also have this Frostbitten achievement, which I have a little bit of progress on, but not a lot. I'm so sneezy today. I can hear. Have you taken your Claritin? I've also been kind of sneezy today too. I sneezed like a lot this morning for whatever reason. Are you sneezing because you haven't taken a Claritin in like 3 days? That could be why. The Book of Fill Names. I think this is one of the last quests in this massive quest chain. So let's come down here. There's a group of Talbook. Here's a demon hunter who plays a big part in the Legion storyline, actually. Now we can return to the Scryers in Shadowmoon Valley. So, I guess we're going to Shadowmoon Valley. We have Oshigun here. Very cool place. 7.3 thousand yards away. Which in the grand scheme of things is like not really that far away. But like mechanically, like the world has to be smaller. Because like lore wise, every fantasy world is like so much bigger than it actually is. Like, would you even be able to see like this town or like the arena from like here? Or would it be like too far away and like covered by too many trees and like small mountains and stuff? But like mechanically, it has to be like right next to everything else. Because otherwise you'll just be running around for a long time to get anywhere. Without anything really interesting going on. The low path. Is this called the high path? Am I just now realizing that? Wow, the high path. Yep, it is. So the path you take into Nagrand from down here is called the low path. And the path you take into Nagrand from the Outer Rise is called the high path. I just now realized that after so many years. Terracar Forest is very cool. I really enjoy questing in this zone. I know some people don't like it, but like coming to like Stonebreaker Hold or Alarian Stronghold and just completing all the quests around here. It's very fun. What am I pressing? I meant to press Y. There we go. Come to quests. I've apparently completed all of the Terror and Terracar storylines via my warband. I originally completed Hellfire Peninsula back in 2012 for this achievement. Far away on these two zones. Pretty close for Nagrand. But I remember, I think I had Lore Master of Outland back in the day, but then they reset like some quests when they like changed how the quests work, or how the achievement works, so I no longer have it. Same thing with Northrend. I also had Northrend Lore Master, which it's here. But apparently I lost progress for like the Empire of Zodrak or whatever. Because I think I had Lore Master through Pandaria. Which... I'm not sure where the achievement is, but pretty sure I have it. The Lore Master. Oh yeah, Pandaria, but I don't have Northrend or Outland for whatever reason. Which I've also completed the Throne or Isle of Thunder storyline on April 11th, 2013. But here's Commander Hall.
Our enemies will fall.
Here, but this quest we can turn in right here.
Baladash Malinore.
We can complete that. And now we can go ahead and complete this quest if we want. So let's come over here. We have to kill the demon hunters over here. Where we have the Black Temple here. A very cool area. Let's come into here, somewhere here. We have this demon hunter. Which this is a group quest even today, but since we're like so powerful, it's not really a bother for us. Here is another one. And then I think the leader is in here. Vermidus must be stopped. And then back out here. Can come down here. Where we have Thuras. And that's that quest complete. So I'm not sure what the next quest is after this, but let's go turn this in. That Sun Fury Blood Oath just fell from the sky there for whatever reason. Down here to Larissa Sunstrike.
The dark times
got Slayer's Axe. Kind of cool looking.
Salama Ashalanore.
And I guess that's Borrowed Power. And I guess that's the end of that quest line. I thought there was another quest in Nagrand. I'm not sure. Let's Google WoW. Borrowed Power. Oh, this is from Shadowlands. Outland. Not sure what happens next. Let's look up WoW Birth of a War Chief. You go to a daw at some point. There might be a quest that like drops from a mob in the Grand, but I don't know if I care too much about that. Where maybe let's do some Black Temple, and then I think I may log off for the evening. So a lot of people view this as like the final raid of the Burning Crusade, but it is not the final raid of Burning Crusade. Where we have this main like area right here, but we can come through the side entrance through the sewer system, where we have one Elodin Storm Rage on the loading screen art, where this is the raid where we defeat Elodin Storm Rage, where it's in retcon with Legion, where he didn't actually die, he just gets imprisoned, and then we free him, and then he achieves glorious purpose or whatever, and is now fighting Sargeras for all of eternity. That's where his story's at. But as far as like the Burning Crusade goes, the expansion really revolves around Elodin Storm Rage. Like most of the stories revolve around Elodin in Outland, and it like all leads to this point. But there's another plotline that happens throughout Outland where Kael'thas betrays Elodin and sides with Sargeras, and we see some of that storyline going on. And then we see Kil'jaeden, who is like one of the three most important of the Eridar, alongside Velen, who we interacted with a lot in our Draenei Warrior Let's Play series, alongside Archimonde, who I defeated like the memory of Archimonde in the Battle for Mount Hyjal pretty recently in a recent stream, where Kil'jaeden serves as the actual final boss for the Burning Crusade.
In the name of labor,
where I do not have a lot of inventory space, which might be a problem. Let's go ahead and run this way. I don't have to loot everything, but I do remember back in the day, I used to do like the Black Temple weekly alongside Tempest Keep and like a bunch of other raids and stuff, just to get gold, because like during Cataclysm and Mists Pandaria, you could get quite a bit of gold from just running through legacy content, which is kind of fun. But if I come into the adventure guide, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bosses in this raid. So we are out of the sewer system, and we now have Supremus, who is a really cool looking boss. Let's get a good view of him over here. Some massive inferno demon. Just super cool looking. And he's kind of the gatekeeper for this raid. We've cleared the sewers, and now we're at the front gates, so we can go ahead and deal with him. Shard of Supremus, which I already have one Abyssius, but now we have 2 Abyssiuses, or Abyssii, or I guess there's another way you could say it that I'm not going to say on stream. You have 375 battle pet achievements and 452 total pets. Now we are in the Sanctuary of Shadows. There's some satyrs in here, and some dreadlords, and a bunch of Ashtone. Or from here we can go off in a lot of different directions, I think, until we can open that door there. But I think there's like 3 different areas we can go with a total of 4 different bosses. So let's go through all those areas. So here we have Akama, and then we can defeat the Shade of Akama, which was like split apart from Akama's body. Murakama is very cool. I think we meet him during Warcraft 3. That's right. And he plays a part here where he helps out Elvedin with overthrowing Magtheridin. And now we can defeat him. I cannot carry anymore. Which is going to be a little inconvenient, but I'll just delete some stuff if I get unique drops. Where there is a legendary weapon you can get, I guess technically 2 in this raid, which are the Warglaives of Azeroth. But there's no like special mounts or anything from here. But Terran Gorfiend is very cool. It has some cool weapons we can get. But here, the Warglaives of Azeroth, 2 very, 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 very cool swords, technically, even though they're glaives. So it would be incredible if we got it, but I'm not really thinking we will, especially with how my luck has been. But if you get one, you have to get the other as well. But they're like 2 different things, so one's a main hand and one's an offhand. So you could just continuously get like the main hand over and over, for example, and just never get the offhand. But Gorfiend is very, very cool because he is the first Death Knight, where he was an Orc Warlock known as Terran Gore. And how Death Knights worked during like Warcraft 2 is they were like Orc Warlocks who then like transferred their like soul to the body of human Knights of Stormwind that had like fallen in battle. So it's like an undead human that used to be like a great champion of Stormwind who died in like Warcraft 1 or Warcraft 2 or whatever. So the orc like transferred their body or their soul to that body and used their body as like an instrument of destruction or whatever, but had like the memories and like essence of the Orc Warlock who channeled themselves into the human.
I was the first. For me, the wheel of death has spun many times. So much time has passed. I have a lot of catching up to do.
But this is like one of my favorite bosses in all of World of Warcraft because he's just so cool. Plus, like, as someone who personally enjoys like Death Knights a lot, fighting the first Death Knight is very cool. And you can kill him just like that. You can get... I've not unlocked that. Let's go ahead. How do I just want to delete a few things. Let's go ahead and pick these 2 items up, which we have now unlocked, so I guess I can delete them as well. And I don't think I can jump down there, so let's run back this way. It's cool to see there's still scrolls in retail. I feel like that's a very outdated mechanic. This effect counts as a battle elixir, so I guess I kind of merged it with elixirs. Oh, I unlocked the sharp Bowie knife appearance. Is there a way to see like total number of appearances? So there's like 754 helmets, but is there a way to see? Where am I going? I want to go this way. Like everything. Sources. Okay, I have all that checked. Paladins have extra helmets compared to warriors. I guess you just have to go through every class and every set piece. Lots of back items. I guess back items are not universal. Paladins have 6 extra back items, rogues have 5 extra, priests have 3, Death Knights have 1, shamans have 2. Interesting. Evokers don't have many. Only like 30 less. So we've killed Shade of Akamon, we've killed Gorfiend. It's known as, or Terran Gorefiend. So now let's go this way, where we have a Fel Orc Berserker. Where that was like 2 of the areas, and then the 3rd area here has 2 bosses. So let's come into here. That is a giant orc right there with a fist weapon too. The Halls of Anguish. So let's come this way first. Basically just an orc scaled up super big. And this dungeon's kind of fun because we're fighting like enemies that we fought throughout Outland in a way. Where we'll fight some Blood Elves, some Fel Orcs, we fought some Naga earlier. Some demons, of course. Where some demons ally themselves with Eladin in order to combat the Burning Legion. Which we see that in the Legion expansion. If you play as like a demon hunter, you have like the different like allied factions of Eladin helping you out. Here we have Gurtog Bloodboil. I will crush you. So we got the Messenger of Fate unlocked. Guess I'll delete this. Let's come back up here to the Shrine of Lost Souls, where we have the Reliquary of Souls, which I remember this boss like vividly, like visually. It's very cool looking. And we see this model repeated in Rathlasheen in the Forge of Souls, with like red instead of blue. It's just a very cool boss. There's a lot of like soul fragments in here. We're at the Shrine of Lost Souls, where the Black Temple used to be known as Karabor, which was an incredibly important Draenei like temple. So I think we see like some storylines related to that going on here. Kind of similar in style to Auchindoun, which used to be an important Draenei location and then was taken over by other forces. Where Magtheridon held control of the Black Temple, but then in Warcraft 3, you playing as Illidan take it over. Where we have this boss here. Which I think we're just waiting. Or do we have to kill everything? Here we go. Essence of Suffering.
Pain and suffering are all that await you.
I think we have to kill this boss 3 times. We also have these enslaved souls, which I don't really remember this mechanic. I think we just have to clear trash, basically. And after they're cleared, I think we can kill the next one, and then we'll have to do it again. Okay, here comes the next one. There's that group dealt with. So 1 more to go. I don't think we'll have trash after this one. So I think this might be the end.
Beware,
There we go. We got the Waveminder's Mantle and a massive lag spike. There we go. Out this way. Piece of mail armor. Very cool looking. Let us go back this way, where I believe, yeah, the door to the Den of Mortal Delights has opened, so we can go ahead and continue this way. Where if we look at our adventure guide, we have 3 more bosses left, so we're 2/3 done with the raid. And of course, Eladin Stormrage is the final boss. Very, very important lore character, especially in Warcraft 3. Where he's one of the main characters in Warcraft 3. Where most of like the big Burning Crusade bosses, or like final bosses, are like from Warcraft 3. We have Eladin, Kel'Thas, Lady Vashj. We have Mactheridin. Akima's from Warcraft 3. I'm going the wrong direction. I'm going to go up a little bit more. Whoops. Back this way. I really like the Death's Advance like skill, where the passive is you cannot be slowed below 70% of normal speed, but Death's Advance is a 45-second cooldown ability. For 10 seconds, your movement speed is increased by 35%. You cannot be slowed below 100% of normal speed, and you are immune to forced movement effects and knockbacks. So it's just like a nice movement ability that I basically pop off cooldown. Back into the Sanctuary of Shadows. Here you can see like one of those dark portal statues right there. Or 3 of them back to back to back. But let's continue this way.
It's too far away.
Where we are going to have the door over here. I'm starting to get like very sleepy all of a sudden. But we can enter this area, which is a very interesting area. Den of Mortal Delights. Where we have a lot of humans and a lot of blood elves in here. And I think most of these may be demons, kind of similar to the Karazhan story. Not entirely sure. But let's go ahead and run up this way. So we're back up here, opposite of where Gorfiend is, or Terran Gorfiend. I like the humans that are kind of just hanging out on the edge and just like looking at the rest of the Black Temple. Hey, what's going on over there? But as we come this way, we're gonna have Mother Shiraz, which I forget the name of this type of demon. Wild demon types. Races. Oh, there's a lot. Shavara, that's what they're called. There's a demon from the Warcraft RPG called a Tothrazine, which are like distant cousins of the Nathrazine, which is very interesting. Which I think the Warcraft RPG is not canon. But here's this boss. Got a sultry Grimoire. Let's go ahead and delete this. let's learn this. Where we got the Sister of Temptation, companion pet. So I've unlocked this now. And now we are in the Blood Elf area. Here we have the second to last boss. Up here. I should delete some of these. Delete that. Guess I'll delete that. I'm running into the staircase.
It's too far away.
It was kind of interesting. We had like a group of Blood Elves that like stayed allied to Illidan, and then a group of Blood Elves that like went along with Kael'thas. But then for that group, we had a group of Blood Elves that like left Kael'thas and like returned to Shadrath to form the Scryers. And then we have a group of Blood Elves in Quel'Thalas. And then a group of those Blood Elves became Void Elves. There's a lot of elf storylines in World of Warcraft. There's a lot of people talk about how there's so many different elf and now dwarven races in the game. But here we have this boss, the Eladari Council, where we have 4 different high-ranking Blood Elves under Illidan's control, who we can just kill. I wonder if that counts for like 20 bosses. But Helm of the Eladari Shatter, which looks very cool. Forest Prowler Helm, oh, with like a Gron eye and it's moving. That's kind of creepy, but very cool looking. But with having defeated them, there is 1 boss left to defeat. And of course it is Illidan's Stormrage, which we have this door right here, which is not open. And I don't remember how to open it. And I think I killed all the bosses beforehand. Which maybe is a common bug. Let's come back down here. Oh, do we have to talk to Akuma? That would make sense. I just completely ignored the fact that he came in here. / I didn't see him come in here. I'm ready, Akuma. Okay, now we can open the door, so good thing I don't have to like reset the raid and come back through here. It's a cool longbow. We're going to see Maya of Shadow Song soon, another character from Warcraft 3. We have the spirit of Udalu and the spirit of Olam. He's just carrying like a bunch of skulls on his back. It's cool to see Akuma during the Warlords of Draenor expansion because he's not a broken Draenei. Now that the door is open, we can reach the temple summit, which is a very, very, very cool environment. Let's come up here. And we have Illidan's Stormrage, the Betrayer, just staring into the skull of Godan. And story-wise at this moment, the Demon Hunters are currently on Mardoon, is that the name of the planet? Doing the Demon Hunter storyline at the start of their starting story. But if you look up there, if you can hear the music. We have Elodin's like theme music, but we can see Azeroth somehow for some reason. I don't think this is like really a lore thing. I think they're like, this looks cool, let's do this, where they put Azeroth there. So we can see the planet that we come from peering down at us. But let's go ahead and chat with Akama once again. And we can fight the betrayer. We're ready to face Elodin. We actually saw a little bit of his backstory when I was doing Caverns of Time. Nostalgia trips.
Your duplicity is hardly surprising. I should have slaughtered you and your malformed brethren long ago.
We've come to end your reign, Titan. My people and all of Outland shall be free.
Boldly said, but I remain unconvinced.
The time has come. The moment is at hand.
You are not prepared.
He said the line. I love Elodin's voice acting, but let's switch on him. I guess that was like a two-shot.
I will not be touched by a rabble such as you. Behold the flames of Azeroth.
A very cool boss fight aesthetically. And I think people enjoyed this boss fight mechanically. Oh, Shadow Prison.
Mortals? Is this all the fury you can muster?
Their fury pales before mine, Illidan. We have some unsettled business between us.
Maiev, how is it even possible?
Ah, my long hunt is finally over. Today, justice will be done.
Feel the hatred of 10,000 years.
Let's go ahead and kill Illidan / incapacitate him so Maiev can imprison him.
He is right. I feel nothing. I am nothing.
And that is Black Temple.
Champions.
The light.
I did not get the legendary weapons, but that's okay. I also had the perfect amount of bag slots again. Where I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and hearth back to Broken Tusk, where I came into the stream doing a nostalgia trip of Cataclysm, where I completed everything that I had left that I wanted to complete in Cataclysm, which is very fun. And then I spent some time doing some stuff in Wrathlich Keen and in the Burning Crusade, which is fun as well. But I'm going to throw all this stuff up on to the auction house. Let's repair that. And I think I'll sell this stuff. And then don't think I can sell that on the auction house, but I'll double check. Let's try throwing all this stuff, see if you happen to get any money from it. Into here.
I know a buyer when I see one.
This is worth 68,000 gold, allegedly. This is worth not a lot. That's worth this. That's, in the grand scheme of things, worthless. Netherweave cloth. Wow, that's not worth a lot of gold at all. Oh, this one. Same thing. So I threw some auctions up, but I think with that I'm going to go ahead and call this stream good here, where I'm not sure when my next stream will be, but when I stream World of Warcraft next, I will be playing through some more of Wrath Lich King, and then maybe a little bit more of the Burning Crusade. But that will be for next time. Alright, thank you all for watching tonight, and I hope you all have a good evening. See you later.